I traveled up the River Lum for a place to hang my hat. I stumbled upon a humble town, I went down and killed some rats. Armed with nothing but an iron mace and wistful dreams of glory, I vow we shall conquer this place in Edgeville, where we begin our story. Edgeville. Located just south of the wilderness, this town is home to violent spade stealers, basement-dwelling neckbeards, and other ne'er-do-wells of all shapes and sizes. After watching Limpwert's and later Verf's Xtreme Onechunk series, I was inspired to try my hand yet again at a chunk-based Ironman account. The Extreme rule set in particular appealed to me because one of my favorite parts of this game is discovering new and exciting ways to hate myself. But, in addition to that, I just enjoy doing weird bullshit. In many ways, playing on a Snowflake account gives me that feeling that I had when I played this game as a kid, and everything was new and I didn't know anything about tick manipulation or efficiency. I just set weird goals for myself and ran with them. So, why Edgeville? Honestly, it's because of Verf. Seeing just the sheer amount of content he had access to in his very first Xaya chunk made me crave something similar, but I didn't want to just copy Verf. I needed a chunk with a combination of both skilling and PVM grinds, along with some careful theory crafting and opportunity for discovery. And while Edgeville isn't as ridiculously dense as that first Xaya chunk, it still has quite a lot to offer beneath the surface. A majority of this chunk is going to be combat focused. With access to at least one boss, Obor, and potential access to another via Briafita, this should not come as a surprise. But even our skilling grinds involve PVM in some way. You see, we're dropping our starting gear from Tutorial Island, which means that in order to even start woodcutting, we need to obtain an axe. There are 3 tiers of axe available to us, all of which must be obtained as drops within Edgeville Dungeon. Iron axes can be obtained from the level 25 skeletons, but weirdly enough not the level 22s. We can get ourselves a steel axe from the level 10 thugs just by the entrance to the wilderness part of the dungeon. And lastly, and probably the most, let's call it optimistic tier of axe, is a black axe which we can obtain from the level 172 black demons. In order to get ourselves a knife to begin fletching, we need to kill the level 32 outlaws just over by the Grand Exchange, and we'll discuss those more a bit later. Unfortunately, while there are plenty of ores to mine down in the dungeon, we have tin, copper, iron, I believe mithril, and then adamantite, we don't actually have access to a pickaxe. And you might be thinking, wow, that's a relief, so you don't need to get adamant ore and smelt it into a bar without access to an anvil. Right, sort of. You see, while we don't have access to a pickaxe, we do have access to that furnace. And with that, we also have access to copper, tin, iron, and coal, all from drops from the monsters in the dungeon. So at a minimum, we need to smelt bars from monster drops all the way to 30 smithing, with the goal of eventually smelting ourselves a steel bar. And since we are using Limpwert's Extreme rule set, that means that if we happen to get any higher tiers of ore, say mithril, from a maze random, we will eventually have to smelt that into a bar as well. The last 2 skilling challenges in the chunk are pretty simple. We have access to men to pickpocket as well as guards, so we will need to pickpocket men until 40 thieving, and then pickpocket a guard. The last skilling challenge for the chunk will be cooking pita bread, because we have access to methods for training cooking via the rats in the dungeon, and we also have access to imps, which means that we can get a pot of flour. Pita bread requires 58 cooking, so yeah, looking forward to that. And of course, our long-term goal for this chunk, the last piece of the puzzle, will be obtaining every significant drop from Obor. This includes all of the rune equipment pieces, as well as the Hill Giant Club. And hopefully, by the end of the Obor grind, we will have made enough Gillinor pieces from Alkables and such that we can purchase the Edgeville spawn from Cristelia for a cool 5 million, as well as the Ornate Gravestone from Death for a significantly smaller 200,000. And so, in summary, before we leave the confines of chunk number 12342, we need to complete the following. Chop a yew log, burn a yew log, fletch a yew shield, smelt a steel bar, pickpocket a guard, cook some pita bread, obtain a full set of rune armor, obtain a hill giant club, and purchase both the Edgeville respawn and the ornate gravestone. And now that I've talked your ear off, let's finally get to the grind. I hope you guys enjoy. The very first thing that we did was pick up the iron mace that spawns right next to Cristelia in the jail. In addition to being the easiest weapon for us to get at level 1, it will also unfortunately be our best weapon for a very long time. Thankfully, with the somewhat recent weapon update, it's actually not too bad. It's the same speed as a scimitar. We also picked up the leather gloves that spawn right under the bank, as they are the only glove slot that I believe we can get in this chunk. Alright, cool. We got enough coins that we can go over here to Richard and buy one of the team capes. I like green, I think, so I'm gonna do that one. It does give some defensive bonuses, so, and I think it's the only cape that we can get in this chunk. So there we go. There we are. That's 5 attack. There's a level 1 rat spawn right down here by the entrance to the dungeon that we can just repeatedly spawn kill, essentially. They don't hit us at all, so we don't need food. There we go, that's 5 strength. Alright, there's 5 defense. We are still getting completely wrecked by the giant rats, so gonna need to spend some more time here. We can now wield steel armor. And actually, Cristelia sells the spiny helmet, which has the same stats as a steel full helm. So we need to get some coins for that. I believe it's like 600. And there we go, that's 5 cooking. We can now cook herring. Oh, we just got a beginner clue from the rats. Let's check it out. Oh, that's so close too. Might keep that in the bank, just in case we end up rolling Barbarian Village next. Because it could be a one-step beginner clue, those exist. And there we go, that's 10 defense, putting us at all 10 melee stats. 10 cooking, just got 15 defense, so we got 15 base melee stats. Got a bronze med helm drop from killing men. This will be a nice temporary upgrade. We are going to get the spiny helm once we get enough cash to do so, but for now this will do. Alright, did a bit of thieving, got ourselves to almost level 8, and we now have exactly enough coins to get ourselves the spiny helmet from Cristelia over here. So we're gonna do that. 1 spiny helmet. And yeah, this is gonna be our best in slot helmet piece for a while. But yeah, it has the same stats as a full helm. A steel full helm, and I think it looks pretty cool. Alright, just completed the Evil Twin random event, and we got ourselves 2 uncut diamonds. That's 15 prayer. Alright, imp number 3, we get some clay. Imp number 4, I think? We get a red bead. Okay. So I'm actually going to hang on to the clay, because it could come in handy. We could turn it into soft clay, and then if we happen to roll the Barbarian Village chunk, that could be a method of training crafting, which would be super useful because I don't think we have any other way to do that. Okay, so something that I've been wanting to try is trying our hand at some killing some thugs here in the wilderness, part of the Edgeville dungeon. They actually have some decent drops. There we go, got ourselves 20 defense. Now we can focus on strength for a bit. These guys actually have some pretty high accuracy, so I think we're going to come back here once we get some more armor. There's actually a brass necklace spawn right over here by the hobgoblins. I don't think we'll get another necklace in this chunk, so guess this'll be it. Oh sweet, we got our first looting bag. Hey, there we go. Iron battle axe from thugs. That was kill number 32. This might end up being pretty useful. I'm not too sure. I was thinking maybe as a flinch weapon until we can get something better. Alright, gonna try doing some flinching at hill giants again. And hopefully it works. Okay, first hill giant kill. We get some coins. Alright, kill number 9. Our first ensouled giant head. And with this, we have got ourselves 20 prayer. Alright, our stats are comfortable enough, or are high enough that where we can comfortably kill these level 25 skeletons over here, so I think we're going to try to do that. The level 25s are the only ones we want to kill because they have a chance at dropping an iron axe, which is our only way to get a usable axe from level 1 in this chunk. I say comfortably, but these guys do actually hit pretty hard. Oh shoot. Iron sword. Is that better? That might be better. But yeah, they actually do hit pretty hard, so we're just gonna fight them until we run out of food and then probably go back to killing rats for a bit. Alright, the problem that I'm currently running into is that we're still getting aggroed by these level 22 skeletons, so hitting the 25s it's actually kind of tricky. Alright, so I don't really know what happened here, but there's about an hour-and-a-half gap between this next hill giant clip and this clip where we get 30 defense while wielding an iron kite shield. So I don't know if I was just accidentally not recording when we got the iron kite shield, but hill giants do drop them. You can't actually get them from a store, but for the sake of authenticity, here is a dramatic reenactment of us receiving an iron kite shield drop from a hill giant.
Oh my god, we obtained our very first iron kite shield as a drop from a hill giant. This changes everything. I am literally shitting my pants right now. Mom, I need the shit bucket. Mom, please, it is everywhere.
Whee! So even with our base 30 melee stats and shiny new iron kite shield, the level 25 skeletons were still just ripping through our food supplies. Something had to change. I threw our first book of knowledge onto agility. My hope is that one day we will get 15 agility and be able to train at the monkey bars in order to cross into Varrock sewer. I continued flinching hill giants in the hopes of getting a steel longsword. That is until I actually plugged it into the DPS calculator and found out that it's actually worse than the iron mace that we already have. In fact, the iron mace is pretty much the best weapon we can get until a black sword drop from a black demon. Got a wizard hat drop from an imp, got ourselves a giant key, the first of many, and got ourselves 7 fishing from the Evil Bob random event, got some bread dough from an imp, and made ourselves some bread. It heals slightly more than the rat meat, so if we can get ourselves a bunch of these, it could be a potential food source. And finally, after going about 3 times over the drop rate, we finally got the iron axe. As strange as it might be to say, this was my most wanted drop for this video. Woodcutting was finally unlocked. After that, we pretty quickly got ourselves 6 woodcutting, allowing us to use the steel axe. While we're killing thugs, I tend to see a lot of these air obelisk bots, so I try to do my part. Gotta keep these streets clean, you know? Steel axe unlocked, meaning we can finally play the game. 15 woodcutting. We can now cut oak trees. The mysterious old man decided to take a shit on my entire life and gave us 3 mithril ores from this maze, meaning we now have to smelt a mithril bar. So I am going to add it to our goals list and try to forget about it for now. 30 woodcutting. In addition to unlocking willow trees, this level also unlocks my dad being proud of me. We began killing Chaos Druids because they have a pretty nice drop table for runes. The ones that we will be trying to stockpile are their Air Rune and Mind Rune drops. But the natures and laws aren't too bad either. They also have access to the Gem drop table, with goodies such as the Rune Spear, the Shield Left Half, and the Dragon Spear, none of which we will ever get, but it's nice to have a dream. Took a gander at Captain Arnav's chest and got ourselves a gold necklace. Golly, it sure feels swell to be a gangster. 40 attack, 50 combat, 40 defense. Here's where things start to get a little blurry. The Outlaw Camp is an area located between Edgeville and the Grand Exchange that you've probably never been to. It only exists because of a quest that nobody ever does. And even if you did do what lies below, you probably forgot you even had to kill these guys in order to complete it. They have an almost identical drop table to level 3 men, except these guys are level 32 with a max hit of 3, and drop some other stuff also, like rope for some reason. But the main thing that we are after here is the knife, so that we can start fletching. And they drop a knife at a 1 in 128 drop rate. Oh, and I almost forgot the best part about these guys. While you're killing them, they only give 1/40th of your normal XP. So until we get this knife, we are actually wasting XP. And food. These guys actually hit pretty often, so. And after a whopping 234 kills, we finally got the knife. And we never have to do this piece of shit dead content ever again. By the end of this grind, we ended up with a pile of 97 rope, which conveniently enough is the exact amount needed to tie everyone in the outlaw camp together into a nightmarish blob that we can set on fire. Along the way, we also got ourselves 40 cooking. Perhaps someday we will get some lobsters, but today is not that day. 15 fire making, we can now burn oak logs. 30 fire making, we can now burn willow logs. 30 fire making is also the level required to burn piles of tied up outlaws on the countryside. 5 fletching, 10 fletching, 15 fletching, 20 fletching, 25 fletching, break for a maze. It's pretty good loot, not bad. 30 fletching, 35 fletching. Thank you all for coming to my 50 woodcutting party. It's a pretty big milestone for the account, so I appreciate all the support. There we go, that's 40 fletching. We can now fletch ourselves willow longbows. And that is going to be our last fletching milestone until we reach 60. Long road ahead of us. Big milestone coming in, 50 strength. We are getting pretty strong. And here's another prayer level, 29 prayer. Yeah, feeling good. Starting to get confident with our stacks of runes. I do want to kill these Chaos Druids a bit more to hopefully get us enough runes to where we can get our magic level high enough where I feel at least somewhat confident in killing Obor. And obviously we want to get our prayer to at least 40 for that as well. Alright, this is something that I've been curious to try out. Vanica, I think we can get a Slayer task from him. Whether it's something that we'll be able to do is another question entirely. Ice Giants, 80 Ice Giants. It's like this guy doesn't even know that we are a chunk-locked Ironman. This is actually pretty huge. We got our first Edgeville easy clue step. It's Doris right over here, on top of Evil Dave's basement. We could try to clue juggle. And there we go, that's 31 prayer. We can now use ultimate strength and enter the monastery. And with any luck, we won't have to do that anytime soon. Yeah, really not looking forward to that one. Okay, I wasn't expecting this so soon. We just got our second Edgeville easy clue step. Yeah, so as you can see, we have both the Doris step and the coffin step. I'm gonna try to kill a few more men and see if we can get a third Edgeville step tonight. If not, I'm going to have to attempt a 2-step easy clue. Figured out a system that will help my sanity slightly during this grind. So we've got 2 Edgeville steps on the ground right now. Until we got those steps, I was picking up every bone, every drop, burying every bone, banking everything. I think from now on, every time I get a second Edgeville step and we begin juggling, I will only pick up valuable herbs, stackable items, and earth talismans just because I want to see how many I get by the end of this. Oh, and the copper ore that we'll need later. But I'm going to, for the sake of my own sanity, I will attempt to get one more easy clue, and if it is not an Edgeville step, we'll just try to complete a 2-step easy clue and see how it goes. One big silver lining in all of this is that we're not doing this for nothing. Even if we don't complete an easy clue, we are still training our melee stats, 45 defense just now. We're stockpiling much needed items. We need something like close to 400 copper ore total by the end of this. We need a bunch of mind runes for magic training. Gotta look at the bright side of things. Finally, okay. We got the our second clue at about 250 men kills into the day, and we are now at 611, and we finally got another clue. So, if this one is a Edgeville step, we will complete, hopefully, the clue. If it's not an Edgeville step, we will still try with these 2 that we currently have. That's unfortunate. That's super close, but it is not an Edgeville step. Which means that we are going to attempt our first easy clue on the account using these 2 steps that we have from before. So we talk to Doris, we complete our first easy clue step on the account. We drop this easy clue, we pick up this one. It should say that we have completed 1 step. Alright, so we open this coffin, and this is the, oh! Okay, alright. Okay, that was a lot of hours, so I'm really glad that it wasn't for nothing. So let's open the first easy casket on the account. This could be any number of things that we really, really, really want. Let's see how it goes. Yes! Okay. Okay. A staff of air. Oh my god. That is the absolute best thing we could have gotten. We got a pair of black plate legs. Literally everything in this clue was good. We got a pair of black plate legs, which is a huge armor upgrade because we currently have nothing. We got a black axe, which is, I think, the best axe that we can even get in this chunk. So it'll replace our steel axe, which will help our grind to 60 fire making and 70 something fletching go by marginally quicker. But mainly, obviously, the air staff. That was the #1 thing that I wanted from this clue. And we got it on the first attempt. And now we can use all of these mind runes and all of these chaos runes with not a care in the world, and that is huge. Absolutely huge. And, you know, just for shits and giggles, let's see. Yeah, we can't do that. So the, after you complete the casket or go to the next step of your clue that you're juggling, all the clues that are on the ground completely reset. So this one is useless, and we can try again. I still do want a pickaxe from a clue. We could get either steel or black. Black pickaxes are pretty common. but we would have to lamp to, I think, 11 mining, so the steel pickaxe would probably be better. And the reason we want either of those is because even though we will need to lamp it, I think it still has the chance of being faster than having to get all of the ores we need to smelt from monster drops. But yeah, the account is looking good. Wow. Alright, there we go. That's 13 magic. We can now do Fire Strike. Hey, we have finally completed our first Fashionscape random event, giving us the Lederhosen top. We are a Chad. Well, there it is. The pot of flour that we're gonna need at 58 cooking. Yeah, 58 cooking pita bread. That's a lot of rat meat. And that is 55 fire making. We are more than halfway to our goal of 60... Wait, did I say... I think I said fire making. 55 wood cutting. We are close to our goal of 60 to cut the rare and mysterious yew trees. Alright, maze complete. And we get... Ooh, nice. A nice stack of death runes. Some more mithril ore, and... Okay, 1k coins, not terrible. Those death runes though, 58. Not bad. Just hit 57 wood cutting, which means we can now cut the Waka canoe, which I believe is the highest level of canoe, meaning we can eventually maybe take the canoe up to the Chinchampa, the Black Chinchampa spot. It also means that, well, getting from Lumbridge when we inevitably die back to our region of choice should be pretty quick. Alright, pretty sweet level incoming. That's 50 fletching. Alright, here we go. Biggest milestone on the account so far, 60 wood cutting. And now we can cut yew trees. So, yeah, 60 wood cutting is the last woodcutting level we need. However, we still need to get to 72 fletching and 60 fire making. Now we're currently at 30 fire making and 52, very close to 53 fletching. From 30 to 60 fire making, we will need to burn around 3,000 willow logs. From 53 to 60 fletching, which is when we can start fletching yew logs into arrow shafts. That'll be around 60 willow logs fletched into willow longbows, unstrung. So about a total of 6,000 more willow logs to go, which will get us to very close, or I think just past 69 wood cutting, which is pretty funny, but also pretty helpful because I'm pretty sure that if we try to go cut a yew log right now, it'll take forever. But hopefully 69 wood cutting will speed up the process just a little bit, since we only have access to a black axe in this chunk. Alright, gonna finish up the video here. This is what the stats are looking like. Feel free to pause it, I'm not gonna go over each and every one of them. And here is our bank, worth almost just over 2 mil. Lots of herbs. I'm particularly proud of the Renar weed stack. It's looking pretty good. We've got over 100 earth talismans. And yeah, it's looking pretty nice. Here is the music list for those of you that want to see what we have unlocked. And we are going to end this video the only way that I thought would be appropriate, by finally chopping the yew tree. And getting ourselves a yew log. Wow, that took a while. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and like, leave a comment, maybe subscribe if you enjoyed it. And I will see you guys next time. Bye for now.